Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you sent over some really interesting material, all looking at how we think about beauty, especially for women, over 40. We've got articles here, some opinion pieces. It's quite a mix, all digging into this shift that seems to be happening.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic.
So our plan today, our mission, if you like, is to unpack this with you.
Right.
Pull out the main ideas, try and understand what this redefinition of beauty actually looks like.
Sounds good.
And it makes you think, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Have you personally ever felt that kind of pressure from the older ideas about beauty as you've gone through life?
Oh, absolutely. I think most women have, haven't they?
Right.
Well, for generations, the story we've been told about aging and beauty for women, it's been pretty narrow and often quite negative, actually.
Right.
Think about the language used. It's always this battle against time, or you need to turn back the clock, or, reclaim your youth.
Yeah,
Exactly. It frames getting older as something you've got to actively, resist.
It's so true. And the contrast with how aging men are often portrayed, it's really stark sometimes. You hear words like distinguished or seasoned.
They get better with age,
Mhm.
supposedly.
But for women, the message underneath feels, different, like they're past their prime somehow. The stuff you sent really highlights that double standard.
It really does. And you see how that impacts women's sense of value, their self-worth as they get older.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing how deep this idea runs, that beauty has some sort of expiration date.
Right.
It just completely ignores the richness, the beauty that comes from actually living life, the wisdom you pick up, the self-assurance.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yeah. But the traditional view ties a woman's value so tightly to youth and, frankly, a very specific, very limited idea of what's considered attractive.
And that very limited idea has, unsurprisingly, created a huge market. Some sources even call it the anti-aging industrial complex.
Big business.
Okay, let's look at this a bit closer. We're talking about a massive industry built on, let's face it, anxieties about aging. Numbers they're pretty striking.
Yeah, the data you shared.
In 2020, the global anti-aging market was worth $58.5 billion.
Wow.
Then by 2022, it grew to nearly $65 billion.
Right.
That's 5.4% growth.
Yep.
And the projection for 2030, over $93 billion. That's according to Grandview Research from 2023. It's huge.
It really puts a number on the economic engine behind this cultural fear, doesn't it?
It does.
And if you connect that back to the language we were just talking about, it makes you think about the words themselves. Anti-aging, anti-wrinkle, age-defying, youth-restoring.
All anti.
Exactly. They position this completely natural process as a negative thing, something you have to constantly fight.
Yeah, like aging itself is the bad guy. And look, there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. Enjoying skincare, makeup, that can be great self-care. But the messages wrapped up in the marketing, they can be pretty damaging, can't they? They suggest, sometimes subtly, sometimes not, that just getting older is somehow a flaw you need to fix.
The material also points towards something more positive, a shift that feels really encouraging. Instead of this constant struggle narrative, there's this growing idea of seeing aging not as a decline, but, as one piece put it beautifully, I thought, an ascension.
An ascension. Joy. I like that combination.
I too. It's about seeing that beauty doesn't just disappear. It transforms rather than diminishes. It changes shape, becomes something different, often deeper, more meaningful, because it's rooted in a life you've actually lived.
So for everyone listening, maybe think about their own experiences. We wanted to throw out some questions, ways to maybe connect with this different perspective. Find your own ageless glow.
Good idea.
When it comes to defining beauty for yourself, how can you actively push back against those messages that make, not good enough? Are you making an effort to see diverse kinds of beauty at all ages? Could you maybe be more aware of those critical thoughts about aging that pop into your head and maybe practice a bit more self-compassion?
Yeah, being kinder to yourself.
And what would it feel like to focus less on just how your body looks and more on how amazing it is, how it feels, what it lets you do?
Great questions. And thinking about your own journey, what wisdom do you have now that your younger self just didn't?
Good one.
What freedoms have you gained? Maybe from caring less about what other people think? And how are your life experiences actually making you more beautiful, more present right now?
And then just thinking about living your best life. What things truly light you up, energize you? Are you actually making time for them?
Prioritizing joy.
Yeah. How are you nurturing those important relationships in your life? What steps are you taking actively to look after yourself physically and emotionally?
The whole picture.
What unique gifts do you have to share? And could you even see yourself maybe mentoring younger people, helping them build a healthier view of aging from the start.
These are all such important things to mull over, aren't they? As we kind of navigate this evolving landscape around beauty and getting older, it's about consciously choosing your own story.
Yeah, shaping your own narrative and celebrating what's unique about your journey.
Exactly.
So I guess the main takeaway, the core message from all this material, it seems pretty clear. Beauty isn't fixed. It changes. It deepens. It becomes more authentically you over time. And by questioning those old, narrow ideas and really embracing the gifts of each life stage, you're not just redefining it for yourself. You're helping create a bigger, more inclusive, more real vision of beauty for everyone.
Well said. Which leads to maybe one last thought to leave people with.
Okay.
Just imagine, what if society as a whole really started to value the beauty of experience of wisdom as much as, or even more than, the pursuit of youth?
Wow.
What new kinds of value might we start seeing in each other? What different ways of appreciating people might emerge? Well, it's a pretty fascinating possibility to think about.